May 18th, 10 minutes to midnight, my insomnia strikes again. Man in room 116, empty liquor bottle, 26-ounce bottle empty, sleeping beside his German Shepherd dog, has left the door open with the shoe holding the door open for whatever reason. No crime in that. The lady who runs the front desk has made pro-crime statements indicating that she's in the Hells Angels organization, and two of the maid staff females have mentioned that they are HA. The Canada Inn next door, similar. When I checked out there, the guy specifically said in Domain that all the motels in BC are bent. Go to the McDonald's, maybe the cheeseburgers will help me sleep. That sometimes works. A couple of the employees of the McDonald's there at 68th and King George Highway have mentioned that they are HA people. Also present was a guy, white man, white hair, with a Surrey Schools truck. I contacted his employer at McDonald's. He said he was HA. He also insulted me. I contacted his employer, giving his description and the license plate of his truck and the time of the incident, and neither McDonald's or the Surrey School Board have bothered to reply. In the past, I've had threats of grievous bodily harm or death from Hells Angels Tom Strenja and Jeremy Nathan Dyke, although neither was at a full patch level. Both wore HA support gear. Tom Strenja's dad, among other crimes, made the newspaper for paying for his drunk driving fine with counterfeit currency. That was at Maple Ridge. Jeremy once threatened me with a baseball bat with 6 people present on a public street with 2 on-duty BSL Indo security guards seeing it. No, that wasn't a baseball bat, that was with brass knuckles. Sorry. Black brass knuckles. Jeremy used to sell cocaine at Kelly's Pub, which had Darren Chow, the HA manager, and Sarah, the HA waitress. In the news from the East Coast, Vaughan, Ontario, 2 full-patch members of the Satan Choice were gunned down in a driveway. It was one of the guy's mums. They were shot dead. Their leader is a former Hells Angels. I've seen pictures of him where he's insulting 2 full patches from Brooklyn Hells Angels, calling all sorts of names. And I've seen he flaunts his ex-Hells Angels tattoo. He's an ex-full patch of the Hells Angels, but he hasn't crossed them out, which is what you're supposed to do when you leave the club. And apparently he's been told by the club to, cover those things up, and they haven't. I know one Satan Choice Club president, he was convicted of 12 murders, and his very first day in prison for serving the time for those 12 murders, he committed suicide. Both the Choice in their heyday, the club closed down, it's being resurrected by the club's founder, son. Both gangs have been involved in gang rapes of women. It's starting to rain a bit, so I have to call this walk short fast just as well. Prime Minister Carney released a statement today about all the Tamil people who died in Sri Lanka, and it was a pretty bad situation there. People forced into homeless, massacres, summary executions, bad stuff. But they're not the only ethnic group who suffered. The Sinhalese also suffered, and various people, at least on the LinkedIn account of the Prime Minister, called them on that. Gary A., our public safety minister, which puts him in charge of the RCMP, he's from that country, and he's not allowed to work on Sri Lankan files because when they raided an office that was raising money for a banned terrorist group, his name was found on a list of people, first name, last name, and his phone number. He claims not to know how it got there. Other people were known to donate to this terrorist group's cause. The government of India did a nice thing. They went into Sri Lanka with their military at the time, and they brought the civil war to an end. I once worked at the Chevron there in Stanley Park with a Tamil guy and a Sinhalese guy, and they both told me as a group and then separately, back home we couldn't be friends. Like, we just don't mix at all. Well, the McDonald's is closed, which sucks. Maybe try the drive-thru later. The boy's doing his job cleaning up, and just a couple stragglers left in the restaurant. Paladin security guard across the street at 64th and King George Highway. That building's been closed for years. Used to be the probation office there. And Paladin security guard is on duty there, gave me a friendly wave, which is nice of him. Paladin also owns Foothill Security. A couple of years ago, someone threw a rock through the window here. It took them a while, but they eventually replaced the window. There's lights on in the building 24 hours a day, some of them. No one goes in or out. There used to be an alarm at the back of the building that automatically started a buzzing sound if you walked by there, and a light came on, a security light, but that's gone kaput. That's a big truck from the chicken processing plant down the way. It operates 24 hours a day. In the summertime, it's got a nice smell coming out of there. Did you know those chicken McNuggets you eat and you like? Those are actually small chickens, baby chickens that are turned into nuggets. Small, cute chickens. Safe driving, Sunrise Guy. didn't even know it was the Victoria Day holiday today until I went to the public library there in Surrey Centre. It was closed. The sign saying Victoria Day. Hope your bus comes soon. This Kitchen Bar, Pirani Deli. Been back in town for about a couple weeks. Probably not going to be staying because I can't afford it. But haven't noticed any problems at all with the place. And it wasn't there 2 years ago. Used to be a Subway restaurant there. That place never got much business, so I wasn't surprised when it closed down. Lux Motors. Anyone interacts with me is always friendly. And this great Canadian oil change place, they just totally ignore me. Nothing is but sketchy about it. That Hammond Matt's place, it's all East Indians working there. It used to be a gym that only had white people working out, but it went under in the last 2 years. There's like a muffler shop down here in KGH. I walked by there today. Some guy who wasn't working was just standing around out front giving me the gears, an East Indian guy, saying his support for HA. I rebuked him verbally. His co-worker, and then I pointed out, like, why are you doing this? Well, your two co-workers are actually doing their job. Safe driving, UPS guy. Guy also has a walker in his room, the guy with the empty liquor bottle, 26er, and the German Shepherd on his bed. There's only 4 vehicles in the parking lot tonight, one of them being mine.